Hi, everybody. Hi, my beautiful moms. How's everybody doing? My name is Janelle. I'm your host. Welcome to another episode of Mom 365, and we welcome you to the Indulge and Self Lounge. So, today I have the pleasure of interviewing my co host, the beautiful Addie Satu, and I'm going to give her a minute to introduce herself. So, this is my little cousin, y'all.
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Addie Fatu, but I also go by Addie. And just a quick introduction: I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor in the state of Maryland, and I also have a one-year-old son, which is why we're here talking about the 365 moms. So I'm just that's basically the main thing. I'm married. I live in Maryland. I work as a therapist, but I also do IT as well. So just a quick
Okay.
little background on me.
So, our mom is busy, and we thank you for saying yes.
No problem. You're welcome.
All right, now, so on Mom 365, what we like to do here is we like to answer the question, what does motherhood look like for you 365 days a year? But before we answer that question, today's topic is going to be on mom guilt and letting go, right? I know moms, you know all about that. So, Addie, please tell us about what does motherhood look like for you? Well, we know it has been a year.
Yes, it's been a
So go
year.
ahead and tell us because you're new to this journey.
Yeah, so motherhood has been very, very interesting, I would say. But I'll start off with the positives. It's been very fulfilling. It's a
Yeah.
love like no other. And now I understand when moms be like, wow, I never experienced this love before. It really is
Oh,
like, it's a different feeling. Just having a little person that looks up to you, needs you, wants only you, running after you for help. Like, it's definitely been a blessing. Now, on the other hand, it's
unconditional.
not easy. It hasn't been easy just trying to get my foot in and learning what's right and wrong for my child and learning my parenting techniques. And then also having his dad bringing his inputs. And I want to listen to those, but like, no, my baby. Like, so much that comes around with it and just get other people involved. So it's been challenging, but definitely worth it.
Very rewarding, right?
Yes, for sure.
Unconditional love.
Yeah,
Unconditional love. I don't care what you do, they gonna love you and love you and love you until they get
yeah.
older, then. That's another
Definitely.
conversation for
Right,
another day.
right.
So we're going to get into this conversation of mom guilt, especially as a new mom. I know this is very, very real for you,
Yes.
right? Trying to just maneuver through the process of, I got to go back to work. I got to put my baby in
Mhm.
daycare and
Yes.
I got to let go and I got to take care of business while they're off with someone else.
Yes.
So my very first question for you is, can you share your personal experience with mom guilt and the journey to overcome it?
Yeah, definitely. So you actually listed a few of them that I've gone through as far as having to go back to work and then also now transitioning him into daycare, which we just started in June. So all of these have been really, really difficult for me. Just being able to be like, dang, is it too soon? Or he's just a baby, or I'm gonna let him go and have somebody else take care of him. So just being able to be like, you know what, no, you're still a good mom. There's stuff that you have to get done. And reminding myself that all the things that I'm doing is not just for fun, it's to kind of make a better future for him, build generational wealth for him and any other future kids. So that's one of the things I kind of did to keep me motivated. Like, okay, no, it's for good reasons. He's still
Yeah.
my baby. I love on him when we're together in the evenings and on the weekends. So it's not a negative thing. It's for a positive reason. So that's one thing I
Yeah.
definitely use to overcome that guilt of, I'm leaving my baby and I'm going back to work, or I'll put him in daycare all these hours without me. So those are definitely
No.
things I use to
I
help me.
know. I understand. I cried the first time. I'm
Yeah.
like, are they going to be nice to my baby? Are they going to pinch
Yeah.
him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
So
then they
lucky.
cry too.
Yeah, exactly. So that doesn't help.
Yeah. Then y'all start going through that separation
Mhm.
anxiety, and it's like, oh my
Exactly.
God, are we going to survive?
Yeah, but lucky for me, the daycare that he's in, one of my friends, like close friends, is a
Nah.
director there. So that first week, I'm like, "How's he doing? Can you send me a text? Is everything okay?" So I did a lot of following up and checking up. So that helped me kind of get through the process as well.
Oh, that's really good. It helps when it's somebody you know too. I think
Yeah,
that kind of makes the process a little easier. You know that somebody you know is close by, keeping an eye on them and things like that.
exactly.
I like it. So, what are some common triggers of mom guilt that you have observed or have experienced?
Some common triggers, maybe feeling like, oh, I'm a bad mom, or feeling like, oh, I need to do more, or feeling like, oh, that I need to be there more. Yeah, so those are some of the main common ones that I see. Just trying, or feeling overwhelmed, or feeling guilty that you haven't given your child all your time because you're working and you're doing so much and you're focused on so many things. So those
Yeah.
are some triggers.
I can understand, especially now that you're trying to build a better life for them and you're
Yeah.
dibbling and dabbling in different things, it's going to take a lot more of your attention.
Yep.
So, yeah, so you're coping with it well. Because if
Thank you.
you're stepping into a new world of like, I'm starting my own business, I'm trying to do my own thing,
Yeah.
it's going to take a lot more of your time,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know?
And
Yeah. So, yeah, so I'm glad you're making peace with it. It's a process, one day at a time.
thank you. It's not easy, but we're getting there.
No, it's not. And you got a village, so that helps.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So, how can moms distinguish between healthy self reflection and damaging mom guilt?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. So, as far as self reflection, it's important, of course. We all need to self reflect, correct? So,
Yeah.
we need to, so it's okay to be like, okay, I need to do better on this aspect as a mom, or I've been doing this for my child, but I would like to step it up here, or realize I've been lacking in here a little bit. So, what are some ways I can improve in that? And that's important. In order for us to grow, not even as a mom, as a person, you want to self reflect, see how you're doing, see how you can improve. But however, I think it gets bad or becomes more into mom guilt when you kind of get to the overboard side of, oh, I'm the worst mother ever, I'm terrible, or why isn't my child doing this? Or comparing yourself to other parents, or comparing your child to other parents. I think that's when it becomes negative, when there's a lot of negative self talk and just focusing on all the things you're going to do and you need to do. So you need to
Yeah.
have that balance.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's very important too, because the thing you got to remember in this process, everybody's journey is completely different.
Yep.
So, what works for one mom and their child may not work for you and your child.
Yep.
So, you can get assistance, you can get guidance, but to completely look at your story and look at somebody else's and say, "Oh, I'm failing at being a mom," because no, it don't work
Yeah.
like that. Because one
Exactly.
size does not fit all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And one thing to just kind of keep in mind, when God gave you this particular baby Gideon is because he knew that you and Neo were able to take on that responsibility. So I feel like he gives us what we need.
Yeah,
Right.
remember that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Because if you weren't able to, he would have given them to somebody else. So
True.
he gives us the children that we need because he knows we're capable of it.
Yeah, that's
Whenever you yeah, when you start thinking about those kind of things, just remember that. That's
yeah,
why he was promised to you guys and nobody else.
yeah. I love that. That's true.
Yeah, always keep that in mind. So can you discuss I feel like I missed what advice do you have for moms struggling to let go of the need of perfection in parenting?
Oh, okay. So I think it goes back to kind of remembering that aspect of nobody is like you and nobody's on your journey. And also that self reflection. So reminding yourself, okay, you can take time to be like, okay, this is where I'm lacking in and this is where I need to kind of work on. But also remembering to pick out your positives. Like, okay, I'm a good mom in this aspect, or I'm always there for my baby. I'm always there for cuddles. Sometimes remembering the little things, like at least I know I'm always there to give love or give a hug or give a laugh. So it's very important to just always show that gratitude and remembering the positives out of your day, no matter what. So I
Yeah.
think that's definitely one thing that you can do.
Yeah, I like that. And then we just got to remember we're not perfect. There's no such thing as perfection.
Mhm.
Every day, do your best.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Show up, do your best, love on your kids, and your kids are going to love you back.
Exactly.
It's
Sometimes we
the
forget
simple
that they're
thing.
busy. Yeah. They don't even need too much right now. They really just want your attention and love. And that's something we gotta remind ourselves as well.
Yeah. So give yourself some grace.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Give yourself some grace. We're all
Yeah.
learning this thing together. Nobody has
Yeah.
it completely figured out. I
Yeah.
don't care if you've been a mom for one day or I don't know, 80 years. You don't have it
Yeah.
completely figured out. Every single day
Yeah.
is something new that happens.
Exactly. And I get it's not easy, like, especially as a new time mom. All these thoughts still, they're going to creep up regardless. But that's why it's important day by day to just, even if it's like, let me write down 3 things I'm grateful for today and three
Yeah.
things I accomplished well with my child or as a mom, just to keep
Yes.
yourself going. Because it's normal. We're going to have some negative thoughts and feelings, but we just
Yeah.
can't sit on it. So,
Exactly. And you know, a question that I didn't get to ask you at the very beginning when we asked you about your journey. So you're new to mom, you're new to motherhood. Is it what you expected it to be? How did you envision it? You know?
Um, some of it is and some of it isn't. So honestly, yeah, nobody gives you a manual. Like you hope and wish, no matter how much you've been an auntie or you've seen, like you've read all the books, 365 days, mom is not the same as actually experiencing it. So definitely has been way more different than I thought it would be, I would say. But having, like you said, people around and to kind of guide through and going through each experience day by day, it's been helpful. And I feel like more experience each day that I'm with him. So definitely have I've learned a lot along the way, but it's not exactly as easy as I thought it would be. Like, of course, like, oh, sleepless nights and this. But there's so much more than just the sleepless nights and crying baby that people say. Like, it
Yeah.
takes a lot of work, internal work with you as well. And just kind of
Yes.
finding yourself as a person, as a mom, and all the other hats coming in between.
Yep, yep. And even sometimes through this journey, we have to do some healing for ourselves from our own childhood, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and yeah, that's another conversation we're going to touch on with someone else about, trauma and motherhood because it's real. You
Yeah.
know, growing up, you've experienced certain things and you were raised a certain way. So now
Yeah.
it's like there's certain things that's like, well, I want to do this with my kid, but I don't want to do
Yeah.
that because I didn't like this when they did this
Mm-hmm.
to me. And so you're
Yeah.
trying to maneuver through that world.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely one of my prayer points constantly, and just being able to kind of use the positive things I learned and use some negative things that I've learned, not to transfer that to my child, not to transfer any trauma to my child, and being
Right.
able to be open and, utilize new things and new experiences.
Yeah, yeah. And as we grow, as the generations change, we realize that everything doesn't work.
Exactly.
Yeah. And each child is completely different from the next one.
Yeah, it's so true. I can only
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah. So can you discuss the importance of self-compassion in overcoming mom guilt?
Yeah, so it kind of goes back to what we've been saying. It's very important to kind of give yourself that grace. That's the main thing. Give yourself grace because nobody has it figured out, like Janelle said before. Um,
Mhm.
it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of learning, and even when you think you got it, you still don't. Right? Even I hear moms who have had way more experience like you still say that. You're still learning. There's new things coming up. There's going to be prom that you haven't experienced. There's going to be this you haven't experienced. So giving yourself grace and knowing that your journey won't be like another parent. As
Yeah.
long as you're giving yourself, as long as you're giving your best and you're trying all aspects, that's what really matters.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And then the thing too is like when they start growing and getting into the world, now you have to compete with the world for your child because now it's like they caught up in
Mm-hmm.
YouTube and they're caught up in the
Yeah,
trends and they're caught up in like so that's a whole nother
I'm not
dynamic.
ready for it. I'm not ready for it.
So right now it's real simple.
Yeah,
It's a little more simple. It's more so like, oh, I left my baby. I'm ready to
yeah,
see him kind of thing. So
yeah.
that's why I say we learning something every day because every
Mm-hmm.
stage is a new chapter.
Yeah,
It's a new
yeah,
journey. It's
yeah.
it's a new trial.
It is, and even though I'm a therapist, I still get right now. I still have anxiety of getting to that next stage. Like, okay, my baby's going to elementary school, going to middle school. How am I going to adjust as a mom? How will I be as a parent as he grows? How will I grow with him? So, but it just still comes back to that we're human. remembering to give ourselves that daily grace and taking
Yeah.
time to find the positives in each day.
Amen. I like that. I like it. So, how can moms strike a balance between taking care of their own needs and those of their children without feeling guilty?
Once again, sometimes you just have to do it. So I'm a big advocate of self care and
Yes.
preaching on self care and taking time for yourself. So my first thought is always that you can't pour into other people, your children, family, work, any of that if you haven't poured into you. If you haven't taken that time to take care of you, make sure you're good, make sure you handle all your stresses, all that good stuff. Or you're not gonna be able to do it. So to me, it's very important that we put ourselves first. So I don't like to look at it as being selfish. I remind myself like, no, I'm not being selfish. I want to be able to give everyone around me, including my child, husband, whoever,
Yeah.
all of me in a healthy way. So the best way I can do that is having that self compassion of myself and like, look, Addie, you need to do some self care this week. It's been a crazy week. I don't care. Everybody just has to be on hold. Let me get that hour or two to myself and do what I need to do. There's
That's
nothing
right.
selfish about it. I don't
That's
care.
right. Be intentional. Schedule time for you.
Yep.
That I think that is the most important part because guess what? You get so lost in every title that you wear and you want to do such a good job at what you're doing that you know what you forget in all of it? Yourself.
Yes,
You lose
exactly.
you.
Yes.
Yeah. So
And
I'm
that's why I love what you guys are doing. So, moms, go out and support the spa. We need it. I'm 100% for self care. Go out, get your
amen.
all the love and help you need at the self care spa.
Yeah, but you know what? It was all birthed because of the fact that I neglected me, and I'm always irritable. I'm always angry, complaining about things that just were not, it wasn't important. But guess what? It was important at the time because my cup was empty and I
Mm,
didn't realize that I needed to pour into myself.
no,
So, but I
I
mean,
love it.
you learn as you go because when your parents were doing it, they just do. You
Yeah.
don't see self-care. I mean, they did
Mhm.
stuff, but it wasn't like, oh, I got self-care, I got to do this, I
Yeah.
got to do that. All you see them
Yeah.
constantly doing. So you feel like
Yeah.
that's what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and I know for them also, they came from a whole other country, so they didn't really have that luxury like us. They had to build and find a way and make us do it. So now
yeah,
our generation is blessed to kind of already be here established. So now we got to kind of put the extra work to build, do what we're doing, but also we know that we need self care and we need this, and that's why I love that all the platforms, our platforms, are helping people kind of remember that. Yeah, we're gonna build and make generational wealth, but you have to take care of you before you can kind of do that.
yeah. Because if you're not here, none of that means nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what
Exactly.
strategies or techniques have you found effective in managing and reducing mom guilt?
For me, like I said, reminding myself constantly, if it's not daily, weekly, of all the like things I've accomplished as a mom and how I'm kind of handling situations and taking pride. Like, okay, you know what? I'm a pretty mom. I'll just say this to my little sister. I was like, yeah, I'm a pretty good mom, right? I
You
think I've
are.
been crying this past year, right? So I
Yes.
just gotta reminding myself that you know what? Yeah, it's been tough, and then of course there's been tears, there's been stress, there's been like thoughts of like, man, I need to do more. I could do more, but at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? No, I've given my baby love. I cloth him, I feed him. I'm driving up and down, making sure I'm working hard to kind of get him his needs. So, you know what? Yeah, reminding myself, like, you know what? You're doing a good job, and just kind of continuing to give myself that grace, like you said. So
Yeah,
that's been helpful.
you got this. You got this.
Thank
And I like
you.
that. The positive self-talk. You gotta keep
Yeah,
staying positive because the negative is always going to be in the other side. But
yeah.
you gotta constantly counter it with
Mhm.
the positive. I got
Yeah,
this. I'm a good mom. I woke up this
yeah.
morning. My baby is healthy. I'm doing what I gotta do.
Exactly. And then prayer too. I was just praying through it, asking God to continue to give me the strength, wisdom, knowledge to kind of push through as a new mom and continue pushing through. So.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. So could you share some stories or examples of how embracing imperfection has led to better parenting experiences?
Yes, definitely. So I know before, one example I could give, before I was all in like, okay, I need to have a schedule. I need to make sure that he's reading this time, reading today. I need to make sure that he's sleeping at this time. I need to make sure he eats at this time. But now I've come to the realization like, nobody's perfect, okay? And we can't, God didn't make none of us perfect. That's just what it is. So we have to
Yeah.
kind of take it where we are. I've come to the fact where I'm like, okay, you know what? Today's schedule didn't work. It didn't work because some things came up or this happened. But he's eaten. He's done this. He's done that. We're not going to be able to meet every goal on my schedule. But as long as we're doing meeting his basic needs, if that's all we got for today, then it's okay. you know. So I
Yes.
was able to let go of all those. Oh, we got to get the schedule. Oh, he needs to be reading. I see all these other kids. They know how to read. They can do this. So I'm like, you know what? No, you can't come kill ourselves. Like, give your best.
Yes. Give the kids grace too.
yeah.
Allow them to grow and develop as it was designed for them to do. Of course, you want to introduce them to things, but at the end of the day, everybody has their own stepping stone.
Yep.
Because it's like you can force them to do this, but if that's not where they're at right now, it's not.
Yeah.
They'll get there.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think we forget that as parents too. That the kids
yeah.
also need grace.
Yeah, they're gonna get there. Allow them to develop like they're supposed to. Because guess what? They're never gonna be behind. They're gonna
okay.
be right on schedule because that's
Yep.
when they were supposed to learn it. That's when they were supposed to go through it.
Yeah.
So I'm
That's
a big believer of like, allow them to go through the journey, not really
yeah.
trying to, oh, well, that child is doing this and this child,
Mhm.
you can
Yep.
kind of, you can teach them certain things and then allow them to slowly move in that direction.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
don't put too much pressure on them because then when you start doing that, then you create you create other
Mhm.
circumstances. So
Yeah. That's
give
one
the
thing we
kids
don't want to
grace.
do. Put any trauma on our children from ourselves.
Yeah, give them grace. Give them grace. They got this. You got this. They learning. They growing, and they're going to get it. The thing is, the beautiful thing about parenthood, we're setting a foundation for them.
Yeah.
And when you set the foundation and you teach them and you give them all that you can give them, I don't care how far they move or go. That basic foundation is always going to be in them because you took the time to instill that.
That's so true.
Yeah. So don't be too hard on the babies either.
Mhm.
Let them live life and figure things out. I mean, of course, with your direction and your guidance, because they're still
Mhm.
kids and they need it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Important to remember that.
Yeah. Let me see. So how can partners and support networks help moms overcome feelings of guilt and encourage self-compassion?
Please have partners and support groups.
Yeah, how can your husband and then your
Yeah.
mom, your sisters and your network, how can they help you to overcome the feelings of guilt and then encourage you to be more self-compassionate?
Okay, so number one, I definitely say that encouragement piece. So them being able to like just be there, let you know, like, look, you doing a great job. Like, wow, you and your mom, you grabbed onto this and you've been pushing through it and you're doing great. So getting that encouragement from them and them letting you know that you're doing good. We see you. You don't have to stress yourself out. And then leading to the stressing. Number two, being just offering that help and offering that additional like need, because that's one thing that I experience. And I also see people making jokes. Now on social media, there's so many memes of what everybody's experiencing. So I've seen a lot of things like, oh my gosh, I need so much help. I'm stressed. I know somebody can watch my baby, but then when it comes time to actually give your baby to somebody, like, no, I don't trust nobody to take care of them. Like, how I'm gonna take care of them. So definitely being able to be like, you know what, my baby's gonna be safe. My mom can watch my baby. My friend can, like, whoever I trust can watch my baby. Sometimes they can help me come
Yeah.
in the house and help me do certain things. I don't have to do everything and be superwoman. It's
Yeah.
okay to get help, because sometimes I know, especially as mom, as black women, we don't want to help. We don't ask for help. We want to be able to, like, I can do this. I got this. Like, it's just that need. Like, okay, I don't want to look weak, or I don't want to look like I can't take care of my child. But it's okay to get additional help from your partner, from family members and people close to you.
Yeah. Because guess what? Sometimes we're not okay, and it's okay to not be okay. And
Yes.
it's okay to let people know, hey, look, I'm not okay. I need the extra
Mm-hmm.
support. I need
Yep.
the extra love. I need the extra time.
Yep.
So yeah, so it's good to have people around you to encourage you and let you know we got you no matter what. Take a
Yes.
minute, go cry, go do what you need to do. We got you.
Mm-hmm.
We got the baby. That's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, and in the beginning, as a newborn, like it was hard for me because I'm not even gonna lie, like just okay, like oh, I'm worried about everything. Like, is you just a baby? You know, African parents. Ooh, there's so many different. Like, you have to give them water one day. You have to put this on their head. You have to rub this. So just the fears with me and my husband, just like, I don't think we want to do that. He's still a baby, or I don't think I want to adopt that. So being able to set those boundaries and be like, okay,
Yes.
this is what I want for my child. This is what I don't want, and then
Yeah.
also being able to let go a little bit and be like, okay, yeah, they can watch my child. They can help me. Oh, yeah, she's just looking out. Okay, let me let her do certain things. So come to that common ground. Of, okay, I am doing a little bit too much. I can relax and let them, kind of step in and help and do certain things. So it
Yeah.
took a lot of also learning boundaries and letting go of being too scared and not wanting certain things to happen. So
Yeah. And I like that. I like that. I love that word boundaries because at times we have to have boundaries with the people we love too, because
yeah.
we have to understand what we're okay with and what we're not okay with. Because at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, this child is your responsibility. It's been put on you, and it's wonderful to have help, but you still have to establish those boundaries. So I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. So, what role does societal pressure and comparison play in feeling mom guilt, and how can it be addressed?
Okay, so definitely like one we spoke on, we've seen other kids kind of developing and do certain things, and you wanting to push a kid like, oh look, this 1.5 year old or this 10 year old is reading knows all the consonants of the world, like and you seeing that like, dang, am I a bad mom? Am I not teaching them enough? Like, should they have known this already, or are they like learning behind? So that's definitely one of the things that I've seen be a stressor and be a tool of comparison, and then also compare yourself once again as a mom. Like, oh man, I'm over here doing all these businesses and all this stuff, but am I giving enough time for my child? Am I giving them enough love? How do I know that their needs are being met? How do I know that they're feeling loved and I'm giving them the best tools to go out in the world? Like, making sure you build up a good human being in a society that's going to go out and make a difference and an impact. So those are all different things that I know is probably common, not just for me, but for other moms in the society.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think society also tends to put pressure on moms with making us feel like we have to look a certain way.
Yeah.
And you always have to be in glitz and glam. You have to always show up like this and show up like that. But the
Mhm.
reality is motherhood is not easy. We go through all these different changes, all these different stages, and as much we show up to try to be our best, but we fall short and it's okay.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, they
And
put
oh no, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, and I was just gonna say that also reminds me as well is how society and people around us kind of add to the self guilt or add to the mom guilt by making you feel bad that you want to go out or making you feel bad that
Mhm.
you want to leave your kid at this age and that you're about to go on a girls trip or your child is left or so just there's so many different speaks and talks about it like oh no she's leaving her child or she's gonna do that she's gonna do that but it's okay like we said earlier to be able to have that self care and not lose yourself as a mom and still be able to go on your girl's trip or still be able to
Mhm.
go have a date night with your husband or your partner or be able to
Yeah.
do things for you and leave your child to get babysit and
Yeah,
not feel guilty.
it's definitely okay. Now, with the first baby, I probably wouldn't have done that because of the idea of like, how will people view me?
Yeah.
With that second one, I think he was born in February. May I went on a girls trip. Mentally, like you've been pregnant for 9 months.
Yeah.
You're
Mhm.
drained, you're overwhelmed, you're stressed.
Yeah.
You need a break.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
struggle with that a lot.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't have control over the timing, but if you have the right childcare in place, you trust the
Mhm.
people,
Yeah.
why not take a break?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
we have to get out of that mentality that
Yeah.
um if I disappear or if I go somewhere, my child is not going to be okay. I'm a
Yeah.
bad mom because I took time to make sure that I was mentally okay.
Yeah, stop worrying about what everybody else is thinking or saying about us. As long as you know your child is protected, taken care of, they're straight, you've done everything you do for them, and you constantly there. You're the mom. Nobody's taking care like you and your partner. So as long as you know you've handled everything you need to do for your child, we need to stop letting society and people around us tell us how we should live or do certain things or make us feel
Hello.
guilty.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because guess what? You're not in my shoes. You don't know my circumstance. You don't
Exactly.
know my story. Because a lot of moms, they struggle with postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
So if they needed a break to get away, you don't know why they needed that break.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah, society has to get to a place of also giving moms grace.
Yep. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Yes, they have to. So, can you provide tips for setting healthy boundaries as a mom and letting go of unnecessary responsibilities?
Yeah, definitely. So, number one tip I would say, like as I've been reiterating over and over, making sure you take time out of your day or out of your week to just kind of write down your accomplishments, write down your things you're grateful for, write down the good things that you've done as a parent, and then also highlighting some things that you can work on. So that self reflection and that gratitude piece is very important. And then also, like we said, positive self talk, a lot of positive self talk, journaling, coping, doing coping skills. So self care, of course, is on there, but we also got to utilize coping skills. So whether it's like, okay, my kid just stressed me out, I just had a long day of work, I'm done with everybody. Taking that time to be like, you know what? I need to utilize some coping skills. I'm gonna go journal. I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna exercise. I'm gonna do whatever it is to kind of release some of those stresses I'm dealing with. So definitely coping as well. Then we already touched on self care. So self care is a big one. Take
Yeah,
time to take care of yourself. So once you're good, you can pour into others. So those are definitely some of my top three ones. Taking time to work on you and making sure you're in a good space, so you can also give that good energy to your children and those around you.
yeah, I like it. I like
I
it.
think that was the second part to the question.
Let me see what was the second part. So letting go of unnecessary responsibilities. Sometimes as
Oh,
mom, we take on a whole lot of everything.
yes, yes, that's a big one. So that kind of goes back to like when I was talking about, oh, we're gonna have this schedule, we're gonna have that schedule, we're gonna do this, and that. So being able to be like, okay, it's okay if we don't read one book today, or it's okay if we don't make it to the gym class and dance class and all the other classes. We want our kids to be so involved. Like it's okay to be like, you know what, now we're gonna rest today. We're not gonna make it to this week. We're not gonna make it to that. So taking time to really go through your schedule. Like, is this really necessary? Is this am I overstretching myself? Am I overstressed? How am I treating my kids? How am I feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of that? So it's
Yeah,
you really got to look at it from every aspect. Like, okay, have I'm doing all these things, but how am I? Is it helping the family, or is it really just causing us more stress?
yeah. Is it just busy work? So we
Yeah,
have to learn.
exactly.
Yeah. Be flexible and prioritize what's important. Everything is not important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You try to be the best mom so bad. You go to basketball, gym, just everything all at once. Like, it's just a lot. So, which
Yeah.
is great because, of course, we all want our kids to be involved and be outgoing. But just make sure you're not doing it to the level that you're overstressing yourself out or stressing your child or the family as well. So,
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, do what you need to do, but at the same time, understand that like you said, you're not overstretching yourself. You have to have limits. You got to
mhm.
know when it's too much. You're one person. You can't be in 10 different places. You can't have
Exactly.
basketball today, soccer tomorrow. No, like I
Yeah.
tell the boys, I'm like,
Yeah.
when they want to play sports, we're not playing sports right now, but when they do, I'm like, can y'all try to be in the same sport so
Yeah.
we can be
Right.
in the same place at the same time?
hmm
It's too much.
Yeah. No, it's important. It's important. Kind
Yeah,
of work it out to fit you as well.
yeah, it's too much with everything else that's going on.
Yeah.
So, what are some resources of books that you can recommend for moms looking to overcome mom guilt and embrace imperfection in parenting?
Well, number one, I would say joining people in your community. If you search, there's always groups. Like I said, I'm a therapist, so there's always so many like little counseling groups and things that you could search right in your state and just search. Okay, mom's dealing with stressor, mom dealing with so and so. So that's important. There's a lot of self groups. Even starting up your own self group, right? So that also will keep you motivated. Going to places like your spa and places that kind of motivate and uplift that self care, being a mom, and having people around you. That's important. Having people who are dealing with what you're dealing with and experiencing that's very, very important to
Yeah.
utilize. So those are some of the main things I would say. And counseling.
Yeah.
I'm a therapist, so I like to say I know our, especially like in our community and our generation. Now our generation is more open to it, but I know before a lot of people are like, I don't know about therapy, or I don't know about
Yeah.
counseling, or telling a stranger my business, or this and that. But it's okay to be able to kind of go get that extra help if you need it. Therapy doesn't mean you're crazy. So I know that mindset is like, oh, you're crazy, or you got this, you got anxiety, you got depression, you have like no, they have therapy for anybody to go to. And at some
Yeah.
point in life, we all deal with some type of depression, some type of anxiety, some type of stressor. It's just overwhelming. So it's okay to go out and speak to a therapist and get that additional support and get the tools that you need to learn. Because it's easy for me to sit here and be like, we need to do coping skills, we need to do self care, we need to do all this stuff. But sometimes you need that extra push or guidance with somebody to be like, okay, well, let's take it step by step. Here, try this coping skills today. Try these self care. Here's a list of it. So it's
Yeah.
important to get that additional support and resource as well.
Yes, that's so true. And with when it comes to the conversation of coaching and therapy, and
Yeah.
people have to also understand it's you have to they're giving you tools to live life
Yeah.
strategies, because a lot of times you look at it from the perspective, oh, you're crazy, you're mad. Guess what? We're
Mhm.
all on some level of the spectrum.
Okay.
Yes,
Hmm.
and everybody doesn't know how to cope. Yelling
Yeah.
and screaming, being irritable, being nasty,
Yeah.
that's not the way,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
it's just frustrating your own self. So that's very important. I'm definitely a big supporter of therapy. Oh, I lost you.
Sorry, you lost me
Oh,
for a
okay.
second.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
back.
I lost you.
I
All
lost
right. No, so that's the biggest one, because I feel like to be able to tackle everything, like you said, you got to do that self work first.
it. Yeah.
That's the most important piece. Nothing else matters if you're not balanced in what you need to do. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. No problem.
So, I want to know. So, what do you do for self care?
So for me, for self care, I definitely like to. Sometimes I keep it simple. Like self care doesn't always have to be, because I know some people like self care. I'm not trying to be going and spending money to go to the gym or to the movie and do all this kind of stuff. So sometimes self care can be simple in your home. So
Yeah,
sometimes self care for me is just like, okay, dad has the baby or the baby's at my mom and them. I'm just home relaxing, watching Netflix, eating all like snacks and my good food, just enjoying time to myself. And like sometimes just that rest, that self care for me. And then
yeah,
another one I do also enjoy going out with friends, maybe in a weekend. Maybe we'll do a girls' dinner or go out to so and so or travel or things like that. So I definitely like to kind of then make that time to just have for me to go out and do stuff that I enjoy, whether it's traveling, whether it's going out to eat, whether it's exercising, or just having that time in the house by myself to just be me and enjoy me. So.
yeah. I like it. I like that. So, something I had to learn, I actually had to learn and teach myself this, was how to sit still. I
Mm,
didn't know how to just be still and not do nothing, like just
yeah,
rest and just be able to, because it felt like I wasn't being productive. But we don't always have to be productive.
exactly.
That's what I learned. There are just days sometimes that you just gotta just lay still and just say, I don't have nothing left in me.
Yep.
And I'm gonna lay here and I'm gonna allow myself to just rest.
Yeah.
So I like that, because guess what? That's priceless.
Yes. That's
Mhm.
what you really need.
That's priceless. That's more important than anything you could spend your money on.
Hmm.
Rest and trying to regroup and get
Yeah.
yourself aligned.
Yeah.
Important.
Definitely.
All right. So look, I want to know, do you have any tips, encouragement, advice, support that you would like to give to other moms based on what you have learned from your own motherhood journey experience or what others have shared with you that have helped you along the way?
So, okay, yeah, definitely. So one thing I would definitely say is that my biggest thing has that we've been reiterating has been giving myself grace. Because, like I said in the beginning, it was hard. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to do this, or I haven't done that, or how am I gonna be a good mom? How am I gonna get to this aspect? How am I gonna get that? How am I gonna get these done? So one thing was definitely giving myself grace. And once I started doing that, I definitely saw myself being happier as a mom, and saw myself being even more confident as a mom. Because
Okay.
before I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't do well. But when I started giving myself that grace, and I'm like, you know what? Yes, we do this, and reminding myself like my baby is happy, my baby gets this. I've done this for my child, do this for my child. It definitely built confidence for me as well. And then also, like I said, writing down some of those things I'm grateful for. It reminds me daily, like, you know what? Okay, I'm blessed to even have this child. I'm blessed to like
Amen.
be in this position, and to be a mom and to have this relationship with him. So that alone, I'm thankful, and that alone is a blessing in itself. And I don't want to take that for granted. That's
Yeah.
another thing that keeps me going. And then another tip was, like we spoke about earlier, being open to letting my child, like, okay, not sleep on me in my mom's house, or to be open to let him like just be free and do more stuff and not be so scared and accepting the help. So
Yeah.
accepting help from others has definitely been very helpful for me. And I'm going to reiterate again: don't forget your self care. Don't forget your coping skills. Don't forget to get the help that you need, whether it's with family or if it's with therapy or support groups or going to spa, whatever it is. But make time for you. Make time for you, because you will not be able to pour out into others if you keep going and going and going and going without making any time to kind of cope or
Mhm.
self care. You're eventually going to break down. We're humans. And that's like you said, you're going to start being all irritable and angry, and then yelling at your children and feeling guilty after that you yelled, and feeling guilty that you being mean and that you're not happy, which is normal because we have stressful days where you're like, can you sit down? Can you stop? And you want to take it out on the child and stuff. So
Mhm.
that's why that should kind of remind you to go back and be like, you know what? It's time for me to do some coping. It's time for me to do some self care. It's time for me to kind of do things that bring down that anxiety or that anger or that frustration I'm dealing with. Because, like we're human. There's no so much we're doing, work and businesses and all that other stuff. Being with our partners, trying to be happy for ourselves. So it gets stressful. It's a lot. So we got to definitely make time for us and remember that you're
Yeah.
not just mom, you're not just wife, you're not just business person, but you're Addie, you're Janelle. Don't lose yourself or forget what you used to
Yeah.
love or forget who you were. So making time to know yourself and still be you and define you from being mom or wife or everything else you are, friend, church person. Like, so that's
Mhm.
important as
I
well.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, and another thing too that people have to remember as you keep talking about therapy,
Yeah,
guess what? We can go to church, we can pray to God, and we can still have a
exactly.
therapist. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay. God gave them the
Okay.
skills
Yeah,
so that they can
exactly.
help us to be effective in this life.
There we
Whether
go.
it's right, whether you go to a religious counselor
Mm-hmm.
or whatever counselor, it's
Yeah.
okay to do both. You can go to
Mm-hmm.
church, you can pray, and you can still
Yeah.
have therapy. It's okay.
Exactly. Exactly. That's like God gave the tools to a nurse and the tools to a plumber, a house builder. It's the same way that we also been given the tools to kind of get that additional help and support from therapists. Just like you go to a doctor and get that prescription, it's all along the same line. So as long as you're doing something to make you feel better mentally, physically, emotionally, that's what you need. So do it.
Yeah, do it. Yeah. So before I give you a minute to tell us how we can connect with you and all of that great stuff, I just want to say to you, I thank you for taking the time to sit with me. I thank you for saying yes. I'm proud of you, the woman that you're growing into, the woman you're becoming. It's amazing. It's
Thank you.
amazing. You're
Thank you.
doing a great job. So
Thank
keep
you.
doing what you're doing. Keep encouraging yourself and just know that you got this.
Thank you. Amen to
You
that.
got this.
Thank you
So
so much. I appreciate it.
Of course. So now I want you to go ahead and tell the people about what what you got going on, where they can connect with you and all that good stuff.
Okay, so right now my main platform is Instagram, which is at a_crown, and on there I do my best to share therapy talk Thursdays or just tips throughout the week, throughout the day, and in my stories on my page. However, just to kind of inspire women, inspire everybody. So I really make it a big goal to ensure that people are remembering to do self care and utilize coping skills and knowing that it's okay to have therapy, knowing it's okay to get additional help because I know that it can be so hard for people or hard for others. So I know, so it's very important that I share that to me. So that's why I try to use my platform to share therapy and then also family things and new mom life and just my everyday day to day kind of activities that I'm dealing with, hoping that it can inspire somebody else or help somebody else in the season they're dealing with. So yes, definitely catch me at a not crown underscore. And then I'm working on they starting up with like a counseling practice. So once that gets together, that'll be our A
Congratulations.
crowd. Thank you. So please come support, get therapy from us. But I'll also be on my page. So just stay tuned on my Instagram and just yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so we're definitely going to put when we post, we're going to put the link to the information on how you can connect with her, how you can keep in touch with her, and how you can get the therapy and the services that you need to be a better version of you, because that's what it's all about, growing and glowing.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to say, my dear?
No, I would just like to thank you. I love this new
Oh,
platform that you
thank you.
started. Like, this is a beautiful thing because honestly, when you send the questions, I was going through. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like, mom guilt is real, and like just being a first time mom and being an old time mom or mom in general is not easy for any of us, and it comes with a lot of stress, and so it's very important to have platforms like this that remind you that you know what you need to take care of yourself, and you need community, you need people and support, you need to know others' experiences. So I love that you're doing this, and I'm
Thank
proud of you
you.
all this far. Congratulations.
Thank you, honey. So I guess it came from a place where you realize that we all need this, but
Yeah.
sometimes we don't get it because we are in judgmental spaces, whether it's with our friends, our family,
Yeah.
society, people. So you realize, like, I have to create something where I can feel like it's community. We're here. We got each
Yeah.
other. I'm
Yeah.
going through this just like you're going through this. I'm not perfect. I don't have it figured out. I make
Yeah.
mistakes, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I see you, you see me.
Yeah. So
So
true.
that's really what it's about.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Sometimes that's all we need. It's just even if you don't comment on people's stuff, or even if they don't like shout out, you never know who's actually looking like, wow, this post helped me. Like, oh wow, this
Yeah,
watching this video helped me, or wow, seeing this spot helped me. They're like,
yeah,
so it motivates people, whether they say it or
exactly.
not.
No, it's true. So we be kind because you
Mm-hmm.
never know what people are dealing with or struggling with behind closed doors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I always like to end with a quote, whatever my topic is. So this one says, I remind myself every day that the version of motherhood in my head, the mom guilt, the imperfection, the worry isn't the same version of the motherhood that my kids see. A
Mm.
mom who loves them fully and forever, no matter what. And
No,
that's what's truly important.
no, I love that.
Yeah. So if you
Definitely.
have nothing else to say, I always like to, leave some things for my moms. So, mom, like we have talked about, now mom guilt is real. We want you to remember that it's no perfect way to do this,
Yeah,
Trust the process. Continue to pray. Continue to lean on your circle. And just the one thing we want you to just remember in everything, you cannot pour from an empty cup.
yeah,
You are no good to anybody else if you are not taking care of yourself first.
yeah,
You can't love on the people who love you if you're not loving on you first.
yeah,
You can give, 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 and they can take, 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 take. And all that's going to do is create more anger, frustration. So, what you have to remember is you have to pour into yourself first. You
yeah,
got to love on you. Nobody's going to do it like you do it. So, we always want to remind you that we here self indulgent believe that you need to put yourself first and self indulge.
yes.
So we want to thank you for tuning in. I thank you, Addie, for showing up. And yeah, so just like, subscribe, and share, and just tune in. We have a lot of things just, working for you all. So most importantly, just stay connected with us. So until the next episode of Mom 365, we just say be intentional about everything you do. Live on purpose and be the best you that you can be. Thank
Yeah.
you, honey. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Take care. Bye.